If this product was any sharper, I would have found it in a pack of razor blades. Good afternoon and welcome to Turbo Tortoise Tech. If you're new here, I'm Reese of the 4-piece variety Wooks Triple XL. And in front of me is the K100 Air. It's the most premium keyboard I've ever tested today. By leagues, okay? This thing is not on the cheaper side. Comes with a new, funny, clever sort of scissor switch from Corsair or from Cherry MX, which I've already broken. It is a Cherry MX switch, which is kind of cool though. It's got Bluetooth, it's got slipstream ones, and it can be connected on wired connections. This has to have the largest connection list out of any product I've tested, any keyboard I've tested at least. It'll do PS4, PS5, Xbox One, I think, Xbox One S, X, P, Q, R, Z of the Xbox range, as well as all of your PC and Mac. And Mac can be used on Bluetooth as well as PC, and you get, like I said, the 2.4 gigahertz dongle from Slipstream. So they are really trying to make sure that this keyboard can be used on absolutely anything, which is really good. I think we can all agree that having that flexibility in an environment where you really need it, then it makes a lot of sense. It also has some of the best backlighting I've found on a keyboard like this. And at the price point, you kind of expect that. I really do like the Corsair text as well. Their chosen font is really good. It does look quite nice on this. Flat aluminium deck, full media key set on the top left-hand side with one of the best scrolls you're gonna find. And then on the top right-hand side, it's got some extra special functions like profiling that you can save onto the keyboard. I think you can take 4 profiles into the keyboard. And then you've got your brightness setting, 5 different layers on that. Next to that, you've got a lock button. And that lock button can be used not only for your Windows key, but you can disable key functions like Alt F4 even. There's actually quite a nice list over there on IQ. So for people trolling at LANs, etc., you could just one button and then they can't do anything with you. Come in, bro. Then the keyboard's safe and secure. You get, like I said, the nice braided cable. The dongle comes built into the device as well. Moving around the back on the keyboard, however, we see some interesting maneuvers for rubberizing. Really nicely finished. It looks incredible. It is plastic, but nice. Like not the cheap, like, you know, plastic surgery plastic. This is the premium Hollywood plastic surgery plastic that's on the back over here. Really nice rubberizing along the bottom and around the kickstand. But no rubber on the kickstand? Really? 5,500 Rand? You couldn't squeeze in 5 extra rands worth of rubber? Come on, Corsair, you're better than this. Anyway, on the top right, on your side, on your left over here, you'll notice that there is a port then for the USB Type-C and your switch next to that. And then on the far end is the little dongle dock so that you can keep it inside of the keyboard, which I really like because then it makes this level of package to pack into a bag and take along with you. If you've got a big bag for your laptop, it's probably going to fit in quite nicely. There are obviously some special keys on the top right hand side over there with that beautiful volume scroll, those G keys, and that switches between your various Bluetooth devices or back to your 2.4 gigahertz. This is also one of the flattest flat keyboards. It can go from very flat to slightly less flat to slightly even less flat. Not a lot of kickstand over here. Also, no wrist rest. At this price point, really, no wrist rest? Come on, Corsair, please, man. Now I tried to do an inspection of the switch and I kind of ended up breaking it, but I'm glad I did because now I can see how it works and I will be able to get it back eventually. I just kind of plucked the escape key on there with some press stick. I will fix this before I bring it back, of course, I promise, because I can see actually how it works. So there's a dual point in the middle that the scissor then sits across and it's got a little spring that then all holds it together. I'll put a picture of it on the screen. It doesn't mean that cleaning this is going to be practically impossible. It's just not something you're really going to be able to do. You just can't. Like, if you had to do this and sit and mess with this for every single keycap to get underneath there and do it, yo, that's going to be an absolute mission. The audio from these keys as well is not bad. We'll do the QW, especially towards the center of the keyboard. It's very, very good. Not unpleasant at all. However, the stabilizers aren't lubricated at all. You'll hear it as I go down the list. If I had to have that next to me in an office space for the whole day, I think I might have to headbutt that person. I'm just saying. That would be the only thing I could think to do that would get rid of my frustration from listening to that all day. That is not cool. The smaller keys don't have as much slap. They're not nearly as bad. The only other one on all of the other keys that wasn't great was this enter on the numpad. You can hear where the keyboard becomes shallow around the edges, then the keys start to make a bit of weird audio. But it's not offensive. The only one that really is like, is that spacebar. You guys have got to leave that. I'm too scared to go in there because of the switch. And I'm too scared. What is the average user going to feel like? Something to consider, of course, for your next one. The other really good thing about this is that battery life though. 50 hours is exactly correct. I did a little experiment where if you follow my socials, you may have seen me actively doing it, where I literally had basically a finger of sorts that I made up that was holding in the Q button consistently for hours. So it's not just, oh, the keyboard was on, it was actually creating input and using the wireless for hours, and I didn't even get to half battery life. So I literally left that for, must have been like 13, 14 hours, guys. It was a really, really long time. And it just sat and just put out and put out and put out. There's no real battery meter though in IQ. You just see it's high charge or mid charge or low charge. I got it at like a mid charge, charged it up. It did charge very quickly, about 30, 40 minutes to go sort of from half to full. So I think this has probably got fast charge well, it has to have to charge that quickly. And that means you could probably do 15 minutes if it is flat and then carry on using it for the rest of the day, plug it in at the end of the day, and then the next day you'll have a full battery again. So yeah, it's just ultra premium, and it's a bit of a weird thing. It doesn't mean that these switches feel particularly bad. They just have a tactile feedback, which I'm not the biggest fan of. If you like it and you want something ultra slim and sleek that you can use on your Mac, your console, and your PC, then it becomes a no-brainer. That's exactly its niche. However, its competitors in the market come in at like $3,000 for the same sort of functionality where Mac and PC is concerned. So for the executive, unless you really need the backlighting, which is exceptional, then I just don't see it being a very strong product. Gamers and stuff and fans of Corsair that want a slim product like for use in their lounge or across their gaming, work PC, console, etc., it's going to do that job absolutely perfectly because of its flexibility and connection. All in all, I'd have to give it an 8 out of 10. I think that the wrist rest needs to be improved. I think just inclusion of one at all at this price point needs rubberizing on the back pieces over here, and maybe another switch option because tactile isn't for everybody. But if it is for you, then you're in luck because I can tell you the build quality is very, very much in line with the price point. That is a big takeaway here. Yes, it is asking for Maserati money, but they're actually giving it to you in a Ferrari body. I think the internals of Maserati, I think the internals and the functionality is in line with the price point, but the build quality from Corsair again is exceptionally good. This is literally like a solid millimeter worth of aluminium machined from a single piece with these kinds of angles. Absolutely sick. The screen up top here is also really nice. Fingerprint has it, is a mirror finish as well. But I mean, look at those notifications for your numpad, your caps lock, scroll lock, etc., your lock key and stuff that you've got over here on the right-hand side. Like, it's premium. They definitely got the premium feel down. So on that front, I will give it to you. Corsair, please, just the premium is extreme over here. It's one of the most like extreme premiums I've seen for a keyboard. I can buy a fully modular for this kind of money. Yes, it's not slim, light, it doesn't wireless, but I guarantee you the modular lasts longer. So on a longevity argument, I think we got you there a bit. Corsair, just give us a bit of discount and this will be great. Okay, flip, man. I hope it's clear that was semi-satirical. Anywho, not a bad product. I do kind of like it. A little bit too niche for me, but that is all I have for you on the K100 Air. So if you have enjoyed this review, please do hit us up with a like and subscribe, and I will see you on the flip side.